And she noticed a pattern emerging, talking to her New Age friends versus talking to scientists, that scientists would sometimes say they didn't know the answer to something, and that her New Age friends would never say that. They had an answer for everything. And she realized, actually, science does claim to know the answer to some things, but there are other things that it very quickly admits it doesn't know the answer to. Dinesh just gave you a laundry list of things. Where did the universe come from? Why is there any universe? Is there life after death? And he says, and science has no clue about any of these things, as if that's a bad thing. Scientists are extremely proud of the fact that we know some things, and we know there are other things we don't know. We know where the dividing line is between what we know and what we don't know because of good reasons. For why there's a universe rather than not, we don't know the answer to that. Is there life after death? We know the answer to that. Why? Because we know what we're made of. We know how it acts. We know there is nothing to keep any sort of soul alive after the body dies. And that goes back to Ian's discussion of how does science know some things? Is science the only way of knowing things? Science is clearly not the only way of knowing things. There are other ways of truth. For example, mathematical truths are outside of science. They are logical truths, not empirical ones. But it would be a mistake to think that religion is a different way of obtaining truth that is outside everything else. In fact, religious people have exactly the same epistemic standards as non-religious people do, except when they're talking about religion. Ian didn't actually give you a reason to believe that God exists. He just said that it's outside the realm of science to talk about it. But then when he really wanted to make a point, he said, I believe in miracles, for example, I've seen them. Data, experimental evidence is ultimately what matters.